And then from there, from age 3 with kindergarten, we have pre-primary, 4 and 5, and that prepares you for the International Baccalaureate. The primary years program, which is followed by millions of students around the world, and it was actually founded here in Windhoek.
Oh, really?
It is the best curriculum that that's international schools around the world follow, and it was written, in a game farm outside of Windhoek. So that's something I think many Namibians don't know.
99 FM, your inspiration station. If you are just tuning in, this is Skrypt in the afternoon, and it's MYD Smart. In Namibia and for countries around the world, education is not just a path to individual success, but it's a cornerstone for national development, fostering innovation, empowering communities, and shaping a brighter future for all. I mean, education is something very near and dear to my heart as an individual. Reflecting on the famous words of Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And I realize that we are living in an ever-changing world, and as parents, as educators, citizens, and just the community at large, we're faced with the responsibility of preparing the next generation. And talking to me in studio today on how we can prepare the young generation and the young people to thrive in the context of a global village is Windhoek International School's Educational Director, Ethan van Drunen. Ethan, welcome to 99 FM.
Thanks for having me here, Skrypt. Pleasure to be on.
We appreciate you taking the time. Windhoek International School opened its doors in 1991, same year as Namibia's independence. Can you just tell us more about the school?
Yeah, the school was started December in 1990 at the point of Namibian independence. And it was founded to support the UN agencies who came in, the diplomatic community, and international business moving into the country, as well as internationally minded Namibians and permanent residents that are here. And so ever since then, our mission has remained the same. It's really quite simple. It's to develop the full potential of every student in a diverse context where we have a focus on academic excellence and really a creativity, a spirit of inspiration, right? And that's what we're still doing today.
And I think it sounds like a good and worthy mission, especially in a world that's globalizing on a day-to-day basis. What sets Windhoek International School apart from other schools in Windhoek in particular?
Yeah, so if you think about who was your very best teacher ever, right? It's going to be somebody. Who was it?
For me, it was Thomas Gardner. So he was not only my history teacher, and he taught world history, but he was my soccer coach as well. So he was a double agent in my life, and he was very instrumental in just me becoming who I am today.
So he knew you as a person.
Yeah.
He was focused on you as the student.
Yeah.
He was knowledgeable about the world. He was inspiring.
Very much.
He had passion within him.
Very much so.
Right, and he probably gave you some feedback on what you can do better in your life and in your work.
Still does to this day.
There you go. That's a good teacher, and that's an international school teacher. An IB approach is someone who he's not as concerned about memorization as creating. Expects you to take ownership of your own journey, right? Less parrot learning. Memorize what I say it back to me.
Yeah.
More creating.
Yeah.
Right. So an inquiry-driven approach to learning is what we call it at Windhoek International School.
Yeah.
Really just focused on preparing students to be leaders, for them to think creatively, to problem solve on their own. These are things that should be built into the curriculum. And then if you combine that with teachers who are caring and passionate and knowledgeable, then you've got the secret sauce.
And for those that might not be familiar or maybe struggle to really identify what an international school is, could you just give us just the foundations or what goes into a school being an international school?
Yeah, thanks for that great question.
Yeah.
First of all, the students at WIS, they come from 50 different countries. They speak over 70 different languages. The teachers are also coming from around the world. So the demographic makeup, it's a place that truly celebrates diversity. Every religion, every race, every creed, everything. You should be able to be yourself in that kind of a context. So that's one thing. But then the curriculum, the International Baccalaureate, is a curriculum that is recognized around the world. So you can graduate with that IB diploma, we call it, and then from that you can get advanced standing at universities in the U.S. So a 4-year degree becomes a 3-year degree in many of them if you do well. And then you could go to the UK, to the Netherlands, and throughout all of that, we have our program starts at age 3 with kindergarten.
Okay.
And then from there, from age 3 with kindergarten, we have pre-primary, 4 and 5, and that prepares you for the International Baccalaureate. The primary years program, which is followed by millions of students around the world, and it was actually founded here in Windhoek.
Oh, really?
It is the best curriculum that's international schools around the world follow, and it was written, in a game farm outside of Windhoek. So that's something I think many Namibians don't know.
Good to know. I had no idea.
And so in IB education, it really prepares you to go from Windhoek to the world, and hopefully with ideas that can leverage change. And, we know that the world's problems will never be solved at the level they were created. So the IB curriculum was actually founded in post-World War II as a curriculum for peace, as a curriculum for understanding. And a curriculum that says that other people with their differences can also be right, and it's up to us to find the solution for things. So that's what the curriculum is basically built around. And so then you need to have the campus that also does that, right? So you've got this campus that has a sensory room for students with neurodiverse needs. You have music and art and movement focus, PE, of course, all that, and small classrooms so that you can actually give that one-on-one feedback. And then language as well, French, Portuguese, German. Students are expected to become quite good at those. And
once again, especially in terms of preparing students for the global community. And we spoke about globalization and just preparing these young students and young individuals for life abroad, potentially. What does a journey like that look like for a child at Windhoek International School?
So our actual school year runs from August until June. So it's kind of on the Northern Hemisphere schedule. But our families, they come and go throughout the year. So admissions is on a rolling basis. You can apply at any time. And we really take seriously our desire to support the diplomatic community, the international business community, as well as Namibia's own diplomats as they come and go, from this country to other countries. So that's kind of what it looks like. We also want to make sure that Namibians can well afford it, and so we have a different fee scale. So it's actually 60% less in most grades for Namibian citizens than for international students coming and going. And we try to keep some space open for that. For that kind of thing, so people can stop by anytime to check it out, what it looks like in person. We see Namibia as really playing a leadership role in the region, and we want our students to be leaders in that as well.
And be play a pivotal role in that.
So I think what it really means is to have an expectation that students take ownership for their own learning, and that they have a spirit of service as they go about, and a spirit of entrepreneurialism. Right? They're phenomenal communicators. They really keep me on my toes. We really don't expect students to say, "Yes, sir, Mr. Van Drunen, because you are the education director." That happens. But the reason is because I'm asking them because of the principles that we have, and because there's a reason behind it. So the authority comes from our knowledge and our ability to actually make a difference, rather than just positional authority.
That's very good to hear, because I do want to ask, though, I know many families are wondering how competitive the fee structures are in comparison to other private schools in Windhoek.
Sure. That's a good question. That discount actually helps Namibian families, and we pay we charge our fees on a 10-month scale rather than a 12-month scale. And with that, our fees are actually comparable to the other private schools here in town.
And just to latch onto that as well, your intake is very unique, just as you mentioned now. It starts in August, which is not typical for Namibian schools. And you mentioned that parents don't have to wait until a certain time of the year to join the school. Could you just elaborate a little bit more on that, and how parents can really get involved? Can they come to the campus? Can they come to the school? And
yes, absolutely. Yeah. So they should, if anyone is interested in learning more about Windhoek International School, they should go to our website, click around. They should follow us on socials, on social media. We keep that quite active. Yeah. And they should give a call to the school and set up a walk around with our admissions officer, Ms. Carol, and to see it in action, because you can talk about it, but until you see what it means to have a student-centered classroom where the focus is on the students rather than on the teacher, you really don't know exactly what it truly looks like until you see it with your own eyes. Yeah.
I guess this final question I want to ask is a little bit of a left field question, but just I guess even more personal from your perspective. Sure. What do you believe every Windhoek International student or kid leaves with when they leave the school?
That's a beautiful question. Yeah. I mean, I really believe that you should begin with the end in mind, right? So when you've got an idea of what the outcome is, then you put that there, and then you deconstruct what it takes to get there. Yeah. And then you make an action towards it. And so that is what we do at WIS, actually, is we really begin with the end in mind. And we want students who are empowered to become active global citizens that are capable of making a positive impact in the world and have the dispositions to make that change, to be that change. They need to have an appreciation for cultural diversity. They need to be able to foster collaboration and work as a team. They should problem solve and think critically about the world. And they need to be able to go from WIS and succeed at any university in the world. I went to Harvard, but the thing that it makes an education worthwhile is just that you are able to make your mark in wherever you go. So we have students that go to UNAM, to NUST, to any schools in USA, Canada, the Netherlands, Asia, across the region into South Africa. And we want students to succeed in that and to know how to take care of themselves when they get there. Right? When their parents are no longer with us, with them side by side, they need to be able to cook a good meal also. So, and we believe that a WIS way of education, it actually creates the kind of society that we want to see. Right? So that's what we expect out of our graduates. And they graduate with a U.S. high school diploma as well as the IB diploma. That's kind of how it goes.
Added benefit as well.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
No, we appreciate you taking the time. And one thing I do appreciate about the setup is that as the children leaving Namibia and going out into the world, they take a little bit of Namibia with them wherever they go. But through WIS as well, we get to see a little bit of the rest of the world within the students that live here and take part in the program. So we appreciate you taking the time, and we can't wait to see the success of the students.
Great, appreciate that. And we also have International Day once a year too, and everyone's invited to that. So food and fun is a big part of education as well.
So we can just stop at the door, ask the questions, and come through and see the international culture and the vibrant atmosphere that you guys have at the campus.
Absolutely. Follow us on the socials, and then you'll see how diverse Windhoek is. It really is a place where where anything is possible, and we expect our students to make a change. Maybe they can even come here. This is a really cool place you guys have here.
We would love to have them here.
Thanks,
if you're tuning in, we are talking about education. We're talking about a melting pot of success that is Windhoek International School. And I just had a lovely conversation with the school's educational director, Ethan van Drunen. This is MYD Smart Skrypt in the afternoon on 99 FM.